When that happened, LSG was born. Five years to the day. 5 years to the day, and it still remains one of the most iconic games. So, 5 years to this very day, we witnessed, and here's the thing, not only one of the greatest comebacks in Champions League history, one of the greatest comebacks in football history. And it is one of those games in which I don't understand how everything happened, bro. But let's even take it back. Even let's go let's go to the first leg. Because remember, like I watched both games while I was at work, while I was in the office, and I remember this is pre LSG. This is actually when LSG were born. I saw first leg, which I think was 4-0. I was like, whoa. Even if I was like PSG have a good foothold, remember Barca were known where they turned around everything at the Camp Nou. So even though people felt like, oh no, PSG have a great opportunity to go through and say what's up, people like their Camp Nou can still say something. So at 4-0, you were like, okay, various things can happen. You never know. So going into the second leg, I think when Barca scored those two early goals, I think Iniesta and Carlos Suarez, people were like, it's on. It's on. So when they scored those two early, I think they went into halftime at 2-0. It was like, okay, it's on. It's now real. When Cavani scored, I thought it was done. And I think that when Cavani scored, you just felt the entire company were like, we gave an effort, we did the best that we could, but you could just feel that it was over. And I was like, because look, I want Spurs to get out of that. I was like, okay, look, I mean, good effort. They tried the best, but it's over. It can't be done. But Barca kept on believing, and I think whenever you're in these situations, you need a guy. You need someone who can inspire you. The team needs to play well. The defense, the keeper, the midfield, the attack. But you need an individual to step up and to really help define you. I don't think a player has had a more iconic or clutch 8-9 minutes than Neymar did. And for me, this is one of those things that helped define and make Neymar. Because one of the crucial moments in this, because remember, I think Barca had two penalties. One that Messi scored. And also, I think Di Maria was actually fouled. PSG should have actually had a penalty because Di Maria was fouled. But then there was a very key moment. Because when things were getting very, very tense. Now, I'm not sure which came first, the Neymar free kick, which was a ridiculous free kick, or the penalty. But when Barca had their second penalty, like, oh, Messi takes it. Messi gave it to Neymar. And I think because Messi, again, as we know, doesn't deal well with high pressure. And I think Messi believed that, no, Neymar is on one. This kid is on one. And I have more faith. Because I think Messi said, no, I have to put the team before myself or my ego. Because I know that I don't deal too well with pressure. I know this kid here thrives under pressure. And this kid will say, what's up? So he was given the penalty. Boom, he now scored. But they still needed one more goal. But see, at this moment, I was like, no way. Like, PSG, you surely are not going to give this. Because remember, this was pre-LSG. This is the day that LSG was born. Because now you have to think, because obviously it was the free kick. You have to remember it was Neymar's dummy. People forget the dummy that he did to actually set himself up. Because remember, he faked he was going to do it with his right, put the PSG player out of the way, which gave him space to steady himself and floats in with his left foot, floats in a perfectly weighted pass with his left foot. And thus, this moment was born and pandemonium ensued. Pandemonium ensued. And I think it's the reason that Sergio Roberto has a career. Sergio Roberto is a garbage player. The guy is a Class A stalwart. But that was such an iconic goal. in one of the most iconic. Again, I have to stress this. It's one of the most iconic games in history. Forget Champions League. In history, World Cup, AFCON, Euros, Asia Cup, Copa America. It is one of the most iconic games ever. And I think for all of us, that's why I even want to ask you guys that where were you when you saw this game? Because I remember where I was, because it was me and my colleague at work. My colleague was a Barca fan. I wanted Barca to win, and I wanted PSG to win because I just wanted Barca out of there. And I remember because my colleague, because we worked for TV, so he had to go into do a TV thing. I remember him just going around, just going crazy and mad when Sergio Roberto scored. And I remember just staring, just going. And obviously, when I did that my post-match review, that is where I wore that like my waistcoat thing and everything because that was actually my work clothes. So it was mad. It was extremely and totally mad, you know. Um, and I think when when that happened, LSG was born. And I think that they have been suffering from that ever since. Now they sort of mini cured it. And it's funny, one of the guys that helped to mini cure what happened to them on that night was the guy that was actually involved in them saying what's up, which was the Neymar, who led them to the CL final where they were close to beating Bayern. But one of the most problematic, I think is the right word, images was this. Because without a shadow of a doubt, the hero, the team played well, but the main hero was Neymar. There has not been a more iconic. Barca needed 3 goals with about 7-8 minutes left, including injury time. And in those 7-8 minutes, penalty, free kick, and an iconic pass. Because look, see, the Roberto goal was cool. That pass was incredible. If you want to talk about a perfectly weighted pass, deep in injury time in your last attack, it is freaking crazy what Neymar was able, how he was able to, bro, scoring a goal is hard and so forth. That's kind of pass where it has to be to perfection. Just an inch too much, an inch too much, it's maybe is too much over Sergio Roberto or the PSG defenders get it. So it had to be built to perfection to beat the PSG thing. It was huge. But the image was this. This was the image of Messi because Messi was the main guy and so forth. And he was seen as the hero and he was on top of he was on the newspapers and everything. I was like, okay, well, this is all cool. But yeah, Messi played his part. But the hero, the man of the match, the MVP, that dude, the chief was Neymar. You know, and I do feel that, and we have you learn it um, from the Neymar documentary that moment I think helped to constitute, and I even knew it at the time, but that moment helped to constitute in Neymar wanting to leave to PSG and to have his own team and to be able to be his own hero and be built to be the main guy and receive credits for being the main guy. But what Neymar did in that game was incredible. And the funny thing though is that you felt that the way that, because I thought this when Barca did that, I was like, oh, they're going to win this. And I thought that this, if there was ever a year we'd get a Barcelona Real Madrid UCL final, which we've never had, and you've been trying to get it, it's this year. That's coming off a game like that, you have to go all the way. So the assumption was, yeah, Barca will meet Real Madrid in the final. But what's it called? Juve had other plans, which is why it's so crazy. And I think that is why Neymar was crying after that Juve game. Because I'm sure he felt that after his performance and what Barca did in La Remontada, in the miracle at Camp Nou, that, oh no, we're through this. And they were so well and soundly beaten where Juve kept them to a clean sheet over 2 legs. I think it was like, my God, how did we do what we did against PSG? One of the craziest Herculean efforts ever, and gets syringed by Juventus over 2 legs. But that's the beauty about football. 1 plus 1 doesn't equal 2, man. But as I said again, one of the most iconic games, one of the most insane games ever. And it was just completely mad. So I want to ask you guys, man, so tell me in the comments below, where were you and what were you doing when this game was played. So tell me where you were, who you were with, and tell me what your reaction was when Sergio Roberto scored. I said my reaction was that I just stood there saying, like, was in silence, speechless, in shock, while my colleague was just running around, screaming, going crazy. So, what were you doing, and what were the reactions amongst those with you when Sergio Roberto scored that goal, man? So, like, subscribe, peace out, UCL. Let's ride.